in the heart of Hollywood today and leave it to us to find a place that is taking eating local to a whole new level.
I couldn't imagine a better location for this, I think, because it's a wide variety of people. You know, we have a lot of professionals to artists. For us, we see this as the sanctuary you can come to. You can get a healthy meal, you can experience Tender Greens as a brand, and you can come back here and you can see Green City Farms doing what they do best and growing the product right in front of you.
It all started in my backyard. I always had a passion for growing my own fruits and vegetables. When I started learning about this system and how incredibly efficient it is and how you can have the highest quality produce grown with less resources, it just made sense to me. So we usually leave the plants in about 2 to 3 weeks, and when they're ready to come out, we just grab them by their base, pull them out, and then they come out complete with the roots still intact. So when we put them in the fridge, we put them in this bin with a little bit of water, and they're gonna stay alive until the kitchen is ready to use them. So after we harvest, we're ready to replant the tower just right away. So we get a flat of starts that we started our nursery and then pop them in. And we're planting arugula, which will be ready in 3 weeks.
It opens a completely new world to all of us living in the city.
It's a new journey, you know, it's an experience. There's lots of people that are very excited about what's going on right now with what we're doing and, you know, where food is and how trying to solve the many issues that are going on. And
they can just come back here and they can relax, and at the same time, a week later, they can enjoy the same lettuce that they looked at a week ago. Now they look at it on their plate and they can enjoy it. I'll just grab a few greens that we usually use in our salads, and I'll make you sort of like an impression of what we normally do on the harvest salad. I'm going to use these mustard green mix. It has some bok choy in there. It has the 2 types of mustard in it, and then we have some arugula as well. The top of these greens, as you go lower to the stem, it's going to be more pepperier, more stronger in taste. So you want to try to pick the tops of these as much as we can. I love this. So this gives us a nice little variety for the harvest salad. Even getting some of these flowers in is perfect. We do a special dressing here. It's a chia seed dressing, and just really whatever feels right, just grab a handful. Again, it should be a good amount of stone fruit because it is about the fruit that drives the salad. And what we do is we're just going to give it a bit of a toss. We'll add a little bit of salt. That's really going to bring out that sugar in the fruit as well. And we have these almonds that we just toss in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and just toast. And it creates a little warmth to the salad, and it adds a nice little crunch. So it's a very, very basic flavor profile, not too much. It's really just about the greens and it's about the fruit. Plate with both hands. That way you can ensure that you get a lot of olive ingredients in there. We're using ricotta salata. That's a ripened ricotta cheese. I think this is good like that. I really enjoy this because, again, it teaches people something about sustainability and what can be done in an urban environment.
Every customer that comes and eats at a Tender Greens can see that they're actually making an effort to grow their own food and to encourage people to take a deeper look at where their food comes from, not just what they're eating, but also how it's grown and where it's sourced.
I feel like if we're just even a part of it and we can assist, you know, we're doing a pretty good job. Come on.
Closed captioning of California Bountiful is provided by
Hi, I'd like to make it.
It happens so often, you almost get used to it.
Here's a plan built just for you.
Which is why being put first
You built this just for me.
That's how it works.
takes some getting used to.
Not always.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To learn more about the nation where Farm Bureau members can protect what's most important, call 877 on your side or visit www.nationwide.com today.
We're at the market today learning what to eat to stay healthy, or to get healthy as the case may be. And here to tell us all about that is our good friend, you know her, it's Timmerie Hagenberger, the nutrition professor. And what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about collard greens.
Collard greens, okay, I gotta say, I don't eat a lot of them, but I should be because...
You should be because they will protect your health.
Okay.
They will reduce your cholesterol.
All right.
Now, they're part of this family that is the brassica family that includes broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts and kale, but they're actually a standout when it comes to lowering cholesterol. And at home, I'll explain why.
Okay.
They're pretty amazing. But what we want to do is choose leaves that are very broad. Now, where cauliflower and broccoli make heads, these and Brussels sprouts, these collard greens are going to be flat, just like kale. However, kale has the curliness.
Yeah.
They're going to be just flat and smooth. Now you're going to look for dark green, no yellow or browning, and you don't want them wilted.
Okay.
And you want to keep them cold because if they get warm, they're going to get bitter.
Oh, that's
so before you start cooking them.
So how much of this should we eat? Is this one serving? Is this, how much is this?
Well, this, when you chop this up, this is going to be several cups worth.
So.
But they cook down because they're very high in water.
Yeah.
So what's really important though is to remember that if they're smaller leaves, they're going to be more tender and more mild.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to start with collards, you want to go for small ones.
That's a good tip. Okay, we will keep shopping and then we'll meet you back at her house.
Sounds good.
So we just got home from the grocery store with our collard greens, and we need to wash them first, obviously.
Yes, they're very easy to wash because they're flat leaf. So we just rinse them. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to have you do is to cut out the stem.
Okay.
So just slice right along here.
Slice.
Okay, just right along here.
Okay. Oh, perfect. And then on the other little side, get as much of it as we can.
Yep.
And then you probably save this and do something with this, don't you? The stem.
I do actually. You can put them in stir fries. You can chop them small, put them in soup. And that's what we want.
Okay, and then we just leave it like that.
So we're going to steam the collard greens. We have steam coming in there. 2 minutes.
Okay.
So let's set a timer. You don't need to overdo it.
Don't want to overdo it.
We want it nice and bright.
Okay.
Okay? Because collard greens are going to have there are 4 anti-cancer compounds that are going to form in here. And we actually see steamed collard greens are more healthy for you than raw.
Ah, okay.
So we just want the little, there's an edge.
Perfect.
Yes. And so we just wait for that. Okay, beautiful color. These are ready.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to use these collards. Look how beautiful they are.
Okay.
We're going to use them as a wrap. So I'm going to have you load these up. Okay. So we want to make sure we get those out of the water. Now I made a quinoa lentil mix.
Oh, yum.
And I just cooked it. It was very quick, 20 minutes.
Oh, yum.
Together in the same pan.
That's great. And in the same pan. I love
Yes, all together.
Wonderful.
And I just used some tomato juice and some taco seasoning.
Okay.
So this is going to be a great high complex carb, high protein, beautiful wrap. Okay, so you can layer on. I'm gonna get some avocado.
And again, you can do whatever you want in this. You can add whatever flavors you want, I would assume.
You can. There.
How do you roll this up?
You know, this is a little bit challenging because it's.
That's okay.
So it's a little bit messy. We should have. You know what you can do as well is you can double it.
Oh yeah.
And then well.
That's really pretty though. Look at that.
Okay. Now, and what we can do since this is for.
Who knew?
There we go, just like that. And we can do more.
While you are actually working, I'm just gonna take a little bite of this. That's good. Really good flavor. Very nice, that's good. Very good. That's very good. You definitely wanna make this. The recipe for this can be found at CaliforniaBountiful.com, so check it out. I'll just keep taking little baby bites.
Hi, I'd like to make it.
It happens so often, you almost get used to it.
Here's a plan built just for you.
Which is why being put first
You built this just for me.
That's how it works.
takes some getting used to.
Not always.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To learn more about the nation where Farm Bureau members can protect what's most important, call 877 on your side or visit www.nationwide.com today.
My name is Patrick Mulvaney, and my wife Bobbin and I own Mulvaney's Building and Loan. It's a restaurant, banquet hall, and a catering facility here in Sacramento, California. Focus on local, seasonal food, so our menu changes every day, and it all depends on what the farmer brings in the front door. Every day brings a new excitement here because of the farmers that are around here. Everybody brings it in here to our restaurant so that we can put it on a fork, and our guests get to enjoy it.
Well, Ironstone Vineyards we broke ground in September of '89 for the winery by cutting off the end of the mountain, about 70 foot of rock, and moving the mountain so that we could drill and blast caverns. And so we have about 10,000 foot of cavern. With that rock, we created the amphitheater, and then we took and rebuilt the mountain into a 7-story winery. And so everything here is themed after gold, and we have a little of that. And this was, in the gold rush, some of the richest deposits around. There's lots of mines that were here and are here. And so we looked at Murphy's as being an ideal location for tourism. What do you think of this place?
Beautiful. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. The kids run the show. I try to stay out of their hair as much as possible, but we still do a little procurement of land, and we bought a ranch up at Elk Grove that I'm very involved in seeing how it's getting cleaned up and developed. One thing that we're proud of is we have innovated lots of practices over these 50 years, 60 years, and we didn't want to have any problem with wastewater disposal. And so what it in essence is, it's a digester that is like a septic system that we run it through a series of tanks. In those tanks we plant tules and other types of plants, and the water flows through it and it sucks out 100% of all the nitrogen. Then we pump it up into a 186,000 gallon holding tank and use it for irrigation on our pasture. When you start feeling blue or whatever, the very best thing is to go up on the levee and look out over your vineyards and see what's there and accomplishments that you've done and appreciated. Well, the very most important part, most fulfilling part is family, and having the pleasure of having all of your family in the business, all working in different parts of it, and having something that you can pass on to our children, their children.
So if you're like me, you love cheese, but don't know a heck of a lot other than that, you've come to the right place. Because today we've got a couple of cheese experts here to tell us all about their favorite cheeses. Charlie and Michael Kalish have their own cheese consulting business here in San Francisco, and they have a lovely display of cheeses for us here. And I guess, first of all, there's a certain way we should be eating cheeses. I had no idea.
That's right, Tracy. When you start eating cheese, if you start with something really bold at first, it can overpower the nice, delicate flavors that you might get with other cheeses. So it's good as a rule of thumb to just begin with a cheese that's a little bit more nuanced and work your way forward. So what we've done is we actually set it up so we start here with the goat's milk cheese, and then to a sheep's milk cheese, and then a washed-rind cow's milk cheese, which is going to be more pungent, and then finish off with a blue cheese. So that's going to be probably the most strong flavors that we're going to get.
That makes sense, because if you start with this, then your taste buds are going to be way off. With the blue cheese, you know, it's so pungent, it's going to be a little off.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
that makes sense. And as far as pairing, how should we pair the cheeses?
Yeah, so normally there's a variety of ways. One is like with like, and so intensity, we don't want to drown out. That's what we were mentioning earlier.
Okay.
Another one is just on going with complements. What tastes well with other things? Like I love orange and fennel. So what's a combination like that with cheese? Well, with this goat cheese here, it's got nice acidity, it's a little bit tangy. It's going to go fantastically with this dried fruit.
Oh, okay.
It'll also pair very nicely with our cider. Our cider will also pair with this camembert from Marin French Cheese Company up in Petaluma. And that's going to be more of a traditional pairing. This camembert comes from Normandy, and in Normandy, it's famous for its apples. Got it. So they pair a lot of their ciders with their cheese.
Okay.
With the sheep milk cheese, it's going to be very substantial. It's going to be, I'm guessing it's going to be a little adhesive on the cheeks, and so the carbonation of the cider is going to cut right through it.
And blue cheese, what do you do with blue cheese? Is it on its own?
Blue cheese is definitely the curveball of the group.
Right.
And it's, it can be very pronounced, and so first feeling is, okay, well, we'll pair it with something big, like a big cat, but personally, I like going the other direction, going with something sweet. So whether it be a sweet wine, or in this case, we have some dried fruit that should pair nicely.
Or figs, I saw the figs there. Figs and blue cheese are great together, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. And this just got second place in the American Cheese Society conference this year. This is Bay Blue from Point Reyes Farmstead, and it's a really good blue cheese, so it's going to pair really well.
And these guys have even more tips for you at our website, CaliforniaBountiful.com. So check that out. And we're going to start eating and drinking here. Ryan?
Hi, I'm Ryan Kassinger. I'm the chef de cuisine here at Fast Food Francais in Sausalito, California. And today we're making a dish that I call broccoli fondue. So first I have some broccolini that I'm going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on, a little fleur de sel, and cracked black pepper. Just toss it around to get it coated nicely. I just use my hands. Then we go directly onto the hot grill. And this is a really nice dish for anybody that might be barbecuing. It's really easy to throw on while you're cooking a steak or whatever. It doesn't require blanching or anything. And one of the kind of nice things about this dish is that it gets a nice char on the broccoli, which gives it another dimension of flavor. While the broccoli is cooking, I'm going to finish my fondue sauce. So right now I have an equal part of 1664 ale, heavy cream, and some cornstarch to thicken it. So to this, I'm going to add some cheddar cheese. And it's important that this is not extremely hot right now because the cheddar cheese will get extremely grainy. So we just gently let that melt into it. Move the broccoli. Remember, a little bit of char is really desirable with this, but too much is no fun at all. So you could just imagine having a steak on the grill next to this, you know, it had just finished cooking, it's just carrying over a little bit, and then you put your broccoli right on there, and then maybe some potatoes or whatever, and dinner is done. So while we're in the restaurant here, what I like to do is I'll have a bowl that will serve this in, and I'll get it warm in my salamander here. And while that's getting warm, the broccoli is finishing up, cheese is finishing up, and as you can see, the cheese is starting to get really luscious and well melted and like just very, very smooth. And like I said before, if you cook this too hot right now, you'll lose that really desirable smooth characteristic that it has. All right, now you can see the broccoli has a really nice char to it. It's also got the nice green color that we want to. And to serve this, I'm going to take some of this really smooth, beautiful fondue sauce that we've made and put it in the bottom of the bowl. And then on top of that, we take the broccoli, which looks just about perfect. And there we are. A little bit more of the fondue on the top. And there we have a beautiful side dish to go with some grilled meats.
Hi, I'd like to make it.
It happens so often, you almost get used to it.
Here's a plan built just for you.
Which is why being put first
You built this just for me.
That's how it works.
takes some getting used to.
Not always.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To learn more about the nation where Farm Bureau members can protect what's most important, call 877 on your side or visit www.nationwide.com today.
My name is Patrick Mulvaney, and my wife Bobbin and I own Mulvaney's Building and Loan. It's a restaurant, banquet hall, and a catering facility here in Sacramento, California. Focus on local, seasonal food, so our menu changes every day, and it all depends on what the farmer brings in the front door. Every day brings a new excitement here because of the farmers that are around here. Everybody brings it in here to our restaurant so that we can put it on a fork, and our guests get to enjoy it.
So are you like me? Are you a little baffled still by your meat counter because there are so many choices? Well, you've come to the right place today because we've called in the expert, my good friend, James Winstead. He is the registered dietitian for the California Beef Council, and he is going to help me get through this maze of beef here. Where should I begin?
There are 3 different types of grades of beef.
Oh, okay.
And the first grade would be prime,
okay,
which tends to have more marbling which a good example would be right here. You can see a lot of marbling.
Okay.
And this tends to have the most fat and most flavor. So this is something that you might find more of a high-end steakhouse or something like that.
And this takes very little, like a little salt and pepper, and you're good to go with this, probably,
pretty much it almost cooks itself. It's that good.
We're getting this.
That is a great flavorful cut of beef. And then next would be choice, which is the most popular. That has a little less fat than a prime cut. Got it. And so you'll see still some marbling and then a little fat on the outside, but it's also a great medium choice for that's something not too high end, and then something a little more than the value side.
And so the marbling and the fat, that's what is the flavor, basically,
that's
right?
That's where all the flavor is, right?
So
and a little something too, a little tidbit that I like to tell people is beef actually has omega-6s in it.
Oh, okay.
So same fat found in olive oil, and that's all where the marbling is. And all the saturated fat is on the outside. And so by trimming the fat, I mean, your grandparents, they had it right, tell you to trim off the fat on the outside of your beef, and then you can get rid of all that saturated fat.
Okay, we'll get this too. Why not? We're having a big party. We'll get that. And one more.
And the last grade is select. So this tends to be the most lean option, but can also be kind of more on the tough side. So this might require some marinade, something more acidic. So you could use beer, wine, lemon. Let that soak anywhere from 20 minutes to a day, depending on how tender and how much flavor you want to add into it. And so that's also a great option there for more on the value side.
All right, so we've got our beef here, and now we need a marinade. So again, I'm baffled. There are a lot of choices. Where do I start?
One of my favorites actually is using some teriyaki sauce here.
Oh, okay.
And so you could either cut up whatever portion you'd like to use for your dish that night. So it might be stir fry in this case with using the teriyaki. And you could freeze the rest. And so what you would want to do with your cut up portion is to add the beef into a bag and then pour in the marinade. I'd say about 1/3 full, covering the bag.
Got it.
So that when you lay the bag in the fridge, it'll start to cover the cut of beef.
Okay.
And you can add in sesame seed, ginger, garlic, and some green onions, and you've got a nice, flavorful, cut of beef that's going to be ready to eat just within anywhere from 20 minutes to a day, depending on how long you would want to marinate your cut.
And how long should you marinate? Overnight? A couple hours? What do you think?
It kind of depends on how much flavor you want to add into there. So really, if you're going for something more subtle, you can do as little as 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Or you could let it sit overnight.
Okay, dynamite. So we'll pop this in. And for recipes, where should folks go?
You can check out recipes on beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
Well, 30 minutes goes by fast when you're having fun, right? We're all out of time for today's show, but if you have questions about any of the stories you've seen or the recipes you've seen on today's show, you can check them all out at our website, CaliforniaBountiful.com. And we'll see you again next week on California Bountiful.